Shhh. Let the world fall away now. Let your body grow still, and your breath slow. You've done enough today. You are safe. You are warm. You are exactly where you are meant to be, here, at the edge of sleep, where dreams are just beginning to stir. Let your shoulders soften. Let your hands grow heavy. And let each breath you take be a little slower. A little deeper. Breathe in through your nose. A soft, silken breeze. And breathe out slowly through your lips. As if sighing into the evening sky. There is no hurry here. No rush. Only stillness. Only softness. Only the gentle hush of nightfall approaching. Now. Close your eyes in your mind, if you haven't already. Sink a little deeper into where you are, your bed, your blanket, the place you rest. Because our story tonight begins, high above the world. On a windswept stone tower, tucked into the quiet corner of a medieval castle. Where the sky touches the rooftops. And time seems to slow. The sun has just begun to lower beyond the treetops. A warm honey-colored light spills across the valley, brushing every leaf and stone with a golden sigh. And high above it all, on a circular turret of moss-kissed stone, a man stands quietly. Still as a statue. Save for the rise and fall of his chest. And the soft movements of feathers nearby. He is the falconer. And this is his quiet hour. He wears a hood of soft wool pulled low. And thick leather gloves that reach to his elbows. The kind lined with linen, worn smooth by years of gentle handling. The kind that cradle talons, not to protect, but to comfort. Upon his arm rests a bird. Silent. Sharp-eyed. Majestic. A saker falcon, one of the most prized in the noble courts of the land. She is still. Not sleeping, but almost. Her talons gently curled. Her wings tucked with care. Her head turned slightly, watching the light fade from the sky. Around them, the wind moves softly. Not harsh. Just curious. It whispers through the arrow slits in the tower wall. And brushes gently past old stone, carrying the scent of pine and smoke. From below, the scent of roast parsnips and barley bread drifts up from the kitchen hearth. And far in the distance, a bell rings, a deep, slow toll from the monastery at the forest's edge. Even the bell sounds drowsy now. Heavy with evening. The falconer shifts his weight just slightly, careful not to wake the birds. For he has 3 with him tonight. Not just the saker. But a young peregrine perched to his right. And a sleepy kestrel nested in a woven basket at his feet. Snug beneath a layer of wool, her tiny beak just barely visible beneath a fold of green cloth. He speaks to them now. Not with words. But with the hush of breath and the slow rhythm of his presence. For falconers of the old kingdoms believed something curious. They believed that birds of prey could feel the shape of your soul. Not see it. Not hear it. But sense it. As a warmth. A softness. A kind of honesty that lived in your bones and breath. And so falconers. True falconers. Were quiet men. Still men. Good men. The kind who never shouted. Never rushed. Never lied. Because birds know. Birds always know. A small ember of firelight flickers now from a copper lantern placed gently on the stone beside him. He lights it not for heat, but for habit. Its glow is low. Soft amber with a touch of lavender oil on the wick. In medieval courts, falconers were often called those who speak to the sky. They were prized, yet set apart. Trusted with the birds that kings cherished. Yet often more at home with animals than men. The falconer breathes in now. And slowly, softly, he speaks. His voice is not much more than a breath. Evening comes, little one, he says to the peregrine, whose wings twitch ever so slightly in reply. And with it, dreams. His voice melts into the wind, and becomes part of the hush that surrounds the tower. Long ago, before parchment was common, falconers would mark their birds' names not in ink, but in stitches. A single red thread for loyalty. A green thread for swiftness. A silver one, rare and fine, for those birds that never missed. And if a falcon returned from a hunt with blood on its beak and a calm in its eyes, some said the bird had not only caught its prey, but brought back a piece of peace for the one who trained it. Strange, perhaps, but soothing. Because in those times, with no clocks or electricity, peace was precious. It came in moments like this, with feathers and lanterns and twilight silence. The falconer now lifts his arm, and the saker shifts her talons, adjusting her balance with royal grace. Not tonight, he murmurs. No hunt. Only rest. He lowers his arm again, and the bird settles. Around them, the castle is beginning to fade into sleep. The stable hands have long since finished brushing the horses. Their quiet songs echo faintly through the corridors. A lullaby in a language older than stone. The cook has banked the fire. The chambermaids have drawn thick velvet curtains. And somewhere behind thick oak doors, a noble child is being tucked beneath a woolen coverlet. Their eyes already fluttering closed. But here on the tower, time does not press forward. It hovers. It lingers. Like a hawk in still air. The falconer listens to the coo of the kestrel, who shifts softly in her basket. She dreams of open fields and warm thermals beneath her wings. Or perhaps she dreams of nothing at all. He reaches down and touches her feathers, just once. A gesture more ancient than written words. And then he closes his eyes. Just for a breath. To listen. To feel. Because falconers, they listened more than they spoke. And that was their secret. Soft pause, slow breath. You are here now. High above the valley. In the quietest hour of the castle's day. Wrapped in wool. Listening to feathers ruffle softly in the breeze. Watching the light grow dim, but never cold. There is nothing to do. Nowhere to be. Only this moment. And this hush. And the quiet heartbeat of a man who speaks to birds. Wonderful. Let us return now, gently, quietly. To the tower's edge. Where feathers stir like silk. And the last breath of twilight sighs across the stones. The falconer does not move quickly. He never has. His every motion carries the weight of calm. And the promise of stillness. He learned long ago that to befriend a bird of prey, you must slow your heartbeat. Until it beats like the earth. Low, sure, and steady. And so, he stands in silence. As the sky deepens from soft amber into dusky violet. The stars begin to appear, first one. Then two. Then a scatter of them. Like a flock of sky birds, waiting to be named. He gazes upward. His eyes soft. Above him, a quiet moon begins its rise. Not full, not new. But somewhere in between. A curved silver smile resting on midnight's shoulder. The kestrel stirs again. A soft, breathy chirrup. Then she nestles deeper into the basket's cloth. The falconer hums. Barely audible. Like wind passing over harp strings. A tune from his childhood. A lullaby once sung by his mother. A washerwoman with hands cracked from river water. And a voice that could calm crying infants and anxious birds alike. It was too large. Too stiff. And it smelled of oil and feathers and time. But when the bird landed on his arm, A young merlin, no heavier than an apple. His heart slowed in awe. The bird looked at him. And he looked back. And in that breath, something ancient passed between them. Not a word. Not a promise. Just understanding. Now, years later, he wears the glove like skin. It moves with him. As if it knows what he will do before he does it. He extends his arm again. Not to send the saker into flight. But to let her feel the breeze. Just the breeze. No commands. No whistles. Only wind. And the wind answers. It curls around the bird. Ruffling her chest feathers. Stroking her primaries with a gentle hush. She closes her eyes. Far below, a lute begins to play. Softly. Tenderly. Someone in the great hall is plucking strings. Probably unaware that their melody is drifting upward. Like wood smoke and memory. It's a love song, the falconer thinks. Though no words are sung. Only notes. Each one gentle as a falling petal. And in the hush between each sound, a breath can rest. Your breath can rest. Let it slow now. Even more. Breathe in. And let it out. As if you're exhaling into the very sky itself. There. That's better. The falconer walks slowly now. Just a few steps. Boots brushing soft moss that grows between tower stones. Even stone. In time. Grows green. He sets the lantern on a ledge and watches it glow. The lavender oil inside it burns clean and calm. Its scent carried by the breeze. Into the feathers of the peregrine nearby. She twitches one foot. Then returns to stillness. There is trust here. A fragile, golden trust. Medieval falconers believed that birds could read emotion. Better than any priest or poem. They said a bird would refuse to fly for a man whose thoughts were not at peace. And perhaps they were right. Because here, in this hour, there is no conflict. No questions. Only quiet hands. And patient wings. The stars are brighter now. The sky, black as velvet. Each star a silver pin. Holding the fabric of night in place. He lifts his face toward them. Not to wish. Not to ask. But simply to share space. To be one more living thing beneath the same sky. He speaks softly again. Not to his birds this time. But to the wind. It's almost time. And the wind answers. In a rustle. A breeze. A hush of comfort. Inside the tower stairwell. A candle flickers. Someone descends the steps. Footsteps muffled by old rushes. But they will not interrupt. No one ever does. The falconer's hour is sacred. A space that even the lord of the castle respects. For when the falconer is with his birds, the very air stills. And all who pass near feel it. That heavy, gentle quiet. Like being inside a dream that doesn't ask anything of you. The kestrel yawns now. A tiny motion. Barely noticeable. But the falconer sees it. He kneels beside the basket. And gently covers her face. With a square of soft felt. Darkness will help her sleep. He whispers. Rest now, little hunter. And strokes the air just above her wing. Not touching. Just close. She does not stir again. And now. Only one bird remains fully awake. The peregrine. Sleek. Sharp. Young. She watches the stars as if she might one day join them. The falconer does not speak. Instead, he sits on the low stone bench beside her perch. and simply watches the sky with her. A minute passes. Maybe 10. Time is thin here. Like mist. He remembers something he once heard. That ancient astrologers believed falcons were born under the sign of Mercury. Fast, clever, full of sky fire. And tonight, this bird seems to glow with that fire. Even as she rests. Even as the hush settles deeper around them both. Let your breath move with the rhythm of this quiet. In. Soft as the dusk. Out. Slow as feathers falling. Again. In. And out. And now, gently. As the tower grows colder. And the breeze softer still. He rises. He gathers the birds, one by one. First the kestrel. Still sleeping. Then the saker. Who blinks once. And steps easily onto his glove. And lastly. The peregrine. Who bows her head as if in prayer. He carries them below. Into the round stone room just beneath the rooftop. Where straw has been laid. And hooks are ready for their hoods. And warmth waits in the form of old wool blankets. And the quiet scent of cedar. He places them gently in their resting places. 3 perches. 3 birds. 3 heartbeats slowing with the dark. And finally, the falconer himself sits. On a low stool. Hands resting in his lap. Eyes half closed. Listening. Not to sound. But to silence. He breathes. He waits. He dreams. Of nothing. And of everything. Of skies and wings. Of wind and wool. Of a trust that needs no words. And above. On the tower roof. His lantern flickers its last light. Of course, softly now. Settle back in. Let your body melt into the quiet. Your eyes heavy, your breath slower still. We return to that stone tower. Where feathers have stilled. And the hush is deep and endless. The falconer sits quietly in the shadows. No fire burns here. Only the afterglow of lantern light. And the warmth of straw. And the soft thudding of distant hooves. Muffled by distance. Swallowed by night. The air smells of cedar shavings and linseed oil. Of feathers and leather. And time. Time lives here. Not the kind that ticks in hours. But the older kind. The kind measured by wing beats. And the patience it takes to earn a bird's trust. Outside the stone walls, the world sleeps. The servants have gone to bed. The torches lining the battlements have burned low. Even the dogs in the courtyard have quieted. Their noses tucked beneath their tails. All is still. All is soft. And in this quiet room, the falconer watches his birds sleep. Underscore 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 underscore. Their perches are wrapped in cloth. Worn smooth by years of talons curling and uncurling. Each bird wears a hood. Not to blind them. But to comfort them. Hoods, you see, were crafted with care. In the days of old. A true falconer would stitch his own. Using deerskin or velvet. Sometimes lined with fleece. And always, always, with the calm of his own hands. Some whispered charms into the leather. As they worked. Believing it would calm the bird's heart. If love and breath were sewn between each thread. Tonight, the hoods rest gently on each head. No struggle. No sound. Only slow, steady breath. And sleep. The falconer rises now. Not to leave, but to prepare the next day's care. He moves to a low shelf of tools. Hooks and jesses. Small sharpening stones. And pots of beeswax balm. For beaks and leather. His motions are silent. Deliberate. This is not labor. It is ritual. A rhythm. Like brushing a child's hair. Or pouring water over roots. He selects a thin strip of soft leather. And runs his fingers along it slowly. This will be the new Jess. For the young peregrine. Tomorrow she will fly. Not far. Just to the edge of the field. Where the meadow spills into sunlight. And mice skitter through morning dew. She is nearly ready. The falconer can feel it. Not by weight. Not by sight. But by that strange knowing. The kind that only comes when you spend your life with something wild and willing. He sets the Jess aside. And turns to a small carved box. Resting in the corner. It's old. Far older than the castle. Older, even, than the falconer himself. Its wood is dark with oil and age. Its corners smoothed by touch. Inside. A collection of feathers. Not trophies. Never that. But memories. Feathers from birds long past. Each one cleaned, tied gently with a strip of cloth. And laid to rest beside the others. Some are small. Like the downy white of a snow falcon. Some long and burnished. Like the wing of a royal goshawk. Sharp and silvered. He lifts one now. A tail feather, striped gold and ash gray. It once belonged to a falcon named Mira. Who flew without hesitation. And never missed a dive. She'd been his companion for 8 winters. And then one spring. She didn't come home. The falconer never blamed her. Because birds, like dreams, sometimes must be let go. He wraps the feather in linen. Returns it to its place. And closes the box. With a hush. Now the room is darker. The moon has moved. And its light no longer touches the walls. But he does not light another lantern. Darkness is welcome here. Darkness is rest. He sits again. Near the birds. Always near. And he listens. Not to sound. But to peace. To the lull. That fills spaces where worry once was. To the hush of furled wings. To the quiet that follows care. Let yourself join him now. Let your breath slow again. Match the rhythm of the kestrel's tiny heart. Let your body rest like the saker on its perch. Let your mind glide. Soft and easy. Like the flight of a bird over a starlit meadow. You are safe here. High in the tower. Wrapped in straw and silence. Cradled by night. There is no fear. No thought. Only stillness. Only softness. Only sleep. In the deepest part of night. The falconer begins to hum again. Not a melody anyone would know. Just a tune made of low notes. And slower breaths. His mother's lullaby. Or perhaps his own. He hums for himself. For the birds. For the quiet. And though the birds do not stir. Something in the room shifts. The air grows even warmer. The floor beneath seems to cradle you more deeply. The walls fade. And only the sound of humming remains. A sound that curls around your thoughts. Like downy feathers around a nest. Like the sky around a flight. Like rest around a soul. The falconer leans back now. his shoulders finally loosening. His chin dips to his chest. And slowly, softly, his eyes close. And so he sleeps. Among his birds. Among his quiet. Among his memories. No dreams. No need. Only night. Thank you. Let us now complete our journey. Whisper soft, we return one last time. To the Falconer's tower. Where hushes are sacred. And dreams move on silent wings. The Falconer sleeps now. Not deeply. Just enough. The kind of sleep that hums along the edge of awareness. Like the low murmur of doves in morning mist. Like water under ice. Like breath beneath feathers. Outside, the stars shift slowly in their places. Gliding across the velvet night. As though pulled by unseen threads. One star winks. Then fades. Another lingers. Casting a faint silver shimmer. Through the high-slitted window. And in that sliver of light. The Falconer's features are revealed. Lined and worn. Yet peaceful. His mouth, relaxed in the shape of an unspoken lullaby. His eyes gently closed. His fingers loosely curled. As if still cradling a wing in sleep. The birds do not stir. But they know he's there. They always know. Falconers and falcons share a language. Not spoken aloud. A language of glances, pauses, breath. And in that shared silence, there is trust so deep. It becomes a kind of dream. One of the oldest beliefs among medieval handlers was that a bird would dream only if its master was close. As if its sleep depended on the calm of the hand it once perched upon. So tonight, as the castle breathes its slow, slumbering rhythm, the birds rest well. They dream of sky. Of open fields. Of the curve of the earth far below. And of gloved hands. That offer rest before they offer flight. A soft sound now. Barely audible. A wind, perhaps. Or the stretch of a feather. Or maybe just the breath of the night itself. And then. The first hint of morning. Not light. Not yet. But the scent of it. Yes. Even before the sun. Dawn has a smell. Like wet stone and ash wood. Like dew on hay. Like the whisper of something waking. The Falconer stirs. Just a little. His breath deepens. His chin lifts. And slowly. Gently. He opens his eyes. He doesn't speak. He doesn't move. He simply sits. And listens to the breath of the birds. To the hush that still lingers. To the holy silence before the world returns. He rises then. Stretching just enough. To ease the sleep from his shoulders. His hands reach for the kettle. A small bronze pot resting beside the hearth. He lights a thin sliver of flame. Feeds it cedar twigs. And waits for the water to warm. As it heats. He sprinkles in herbs. Not for medicine. But memory. A pinch of sage. A ribbon of lemon balm. 2 crushed rose hips. Herbs used for centuries. By falconers and forest dwellers alike. To calm the body. And soften the senses. Steam curls upward. He drinks in slow sips. And lets the warmth find its place within. The kestrel stirs. The saker blinks. The peregrine shifts her talons. But none take flight. Not yet. There is time still. Time for stillness. Time for one more moment. Of unspoken peace. The Falconer walks once more. To the arched window. Below him. The valley begins to bloom with light. Mist clings to the ground. Like a woolen shawl. The trees remain dark silhouettes. Tall and hushed. The fields shimmer with silver dew. And the castle still sleeps. He breathes it in. This view. This stillness. This hour. Some say falconry was born in the east. In deserts where hawks chased prey. Across sand and wind. Others say it began in the north. Among mountains. Where silence was as strong as stone. But wherever it came from, it always required the same thing. Patience. A falconer does not command. He invites. He does not control. He respects. He does not capture. He listens. And in that listening, he is gifted the rarest thing of all. Trust. Now. The birds are waking. Not in noise. Not in panic. Just small movements. The tilt of a head. The fluff of a wing. He approaches each one slowly. Removing their hoods. With the same reverence. As a monk unrolling a scroll. Their eyes blink in soft dawn light. Each one watches him. And waits. And he, without words, tells them. Not yet. Today, perhaps, they will fly. Perhaps not. Perhaps they will perch beside him. On the castle wall. Watching morning pass into day. Perhaps they will do nothing at all. And that, too, is enough. Because rest, true rest, is not the absence of action, but the presence of peace. And here, in the falconer's tower, peace lives like a breath held between wing beats. Let your own breath soften now. Let your eyes close, if they haven't already. And drift with him. Into the hush between stars and sunrise. Into the stillness of feathers and straw. Into the safe, gentle dark. Where sleep waits quietly. You are warm. You are safe. You are held. In soft hands. In soft air. In soft dreams. The falconer has closed his eyes again. The birds have bowed their heads. And the castle remains quiet. All is well. All is calm. All is still. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep now.